begin with this regime. Also, I think the reason we perhaps vote for new leaders, the reason we vote for new leaders is so that they can actually bring about that new change that we envision. It's because they promise, they ride on their promises and make these promises during election that, you know what, if you elect me, I am going to do X, Y, Z. So we are saying, yes, the government is broke, but then at the same time, while we are saying the government is broke, people are seeing a bloated government. You see, people are complaining, citizens are complaining because we are saying we inherited, coffers that are actually empty. We just appointed 50 chief administrative officer. That is double the number for the officers we had in the last regime. In the last regime, we had about 23. And this is an office that is unconstitutional already. And if you look at also the individuals that we have actually appointed are actually not the struggling, everyday, ordinary Kenyans, are not the struggling young people, the struggling hustlers that we actually said we want to represent them when we are elected. So, that's a confusing message when we say we are actually very broke, and then you come and also just, expand your government, and we don't even have resources that can actually be channeled to the basic needs that citizens are actually talking about, right? There was a research I read that shows, actually this was, I think, a month ago, if not 2 months ago, that Kenyans spend 46% of their income, yes, whether in business or formal employment, 46% of their income goes directly to food. So how much are you left with to actually spread across the other basic needs, whether it's education, whether it's shelter, whether it's your own personal needs, whether it's your, so how much are you left with? And that is what we're talking about. So guys are saying Kenyans who are being employed, who necessarily are not even struggling Kenyans, when we have the majority of the people who are jobless. In this country, we have about 1 million people who graduate from institutions of higher learning, tertiary education, every other year, to a job market that can only accommodate 50,000 people. So where do the rest go to? The majority of the citizens are also employed in the informal economy. How are we investing in the informal economy? How are we regulating the informal economy, given that that is the same industry that accommodates majority of the women and the young people in this country who are the most vulnerable when it comes to a struggling economy? So I think at the end of the day is to also for the president to understand that he now is the president for every other person, not just the people who supported him. So even with some of the polarizing remarks that we hear in this country, that this government is for the shareholders, we are all supposed to be shareholders. We are all shareholders. You are serving every other person in this particular country. You're supposed to be a symbol of national unity. And right now is, the most important time to see how do you actually promote diversity at such a time like this, when some people feel excluded, and it's not the first time people are feeling excluded, because if we don't handle these matters correctly right now, they're going to spill over to the next election and to the next election.
Well, that's undeniable, especially when you factor in that Raila Odinga has run for office, for the presidential office 5 times in a row, lost 5 times in a row, contested the result multiple times. Yes, there is a chance that some of this spills over into the next election. I think that's fair. Herman Manyora, you were raising your eyebrows earlier. What did you want to say?
What the f***? You are nothing. He brought chaos. He sowed fear to President Kenyatta.